Howdy, everybody. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you taking some time out of your day. So hopefully this works out pretty well. Hopefully you guys get a chance to learn some things and make Creatio work better for you guys. These are going to be recorded, and we will send them out to all the people, and you can share the links with anyone else in your company if you think they might find it helpful. So I guess that's that part. And then as far as questions, feel free to ask any. You can just put them in the chat window for the Zoom meeting and ask, send it to like 2 hosts and panelists. Type anything in there and we'll interact that way. So thank you guys very much for that. And please do feel free to ask any questions. So, all right, without further ado, we'll jump right in to our initial dive into Creatio series. The first one, we'll be covering some personalization things you can do in Creatio to kind of make navigation, maybe not navigation, but the, getting data, viewing data, filtering, searching, that kind of stuff. And we'll move on from there. All right, so today we'll be going over the configuration of views and kind of talk a little bit about how you can add columns, use filters, sort the data, set up summaries, export that to Excel, things like that. Then after that, we'll get into advanced filters, which you can save as folders, and then how those kind of work and how you can tweak things that way and get kind of fun. And then we'll talk about the global search, kind of like command line part. That's the top part up there that says like, what can I do for you today? Or how can I help you? Or something like that. And then that should cover today's half an hour. And then got some useful links here if you guys want to jump out to the Creatio Academy to read more. And then as far as the next sessions, you can sign up for all of them or each one individually. We'll be covering the no-code customization for 2 weeks, and then business processes for 2 weeks, maybe more, because there's a lot of power there. And then if you have any suggestions or recommendations for topics, or if you have questions, please feel free to email Betsy or myself with any ideas or recommendations or feedback. So hopefully keep it nice, but keep it honest too. All right, so that is about it. And let's just kind of jump into Creatio and start having some fun. So I'm going to stop this one and then share my Creatio. All right. Okay, so everybody should be looking at accounts. So if not, someone can give me some feedback or something like that. But
accounts is showing.
Thank you. All right. Cool. So let's jump in and talk about views. So when you're on a section here on the left, in this case, we're looking at accounts. This is, a view. Creatio calls it a section view because you're looking at a section. And you're listing all the records out. So you'll notice this one is not, has a little more robustness than the normal, like just grid of data. This is what Creatio calls a tile view. And it's, a single record, but you can have fields laid out on top of each other in order to get, even more information about whatever record you're looking at. On one screen, instead of having to have like 19 columns, you could have them organized like this. So this is a tile view. The other option, let's see if it happens if I jump over to contacts is the same. What about orders? Let's just get rid of any of that. Yes. So this is still a section view, but this is a list view, and which is obviously different than the tile view. A list view is just column, 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 column all the way across. Tile view, if I jump back to accounts, is columns on top of each other, and you can define all those layouts. So let's kind of talk about how we do that. On any section, in the top right, you're going to have the view button up here, drop down, and we'll talk about kind of all these things. But the first one we're going to do is select fields to display. So when you hit view and then select fields to display, you're going to get a list setup window. And for pretty much all of the sections, you'll have two options here, a list view and a tile view. So right now you can see we're on tile view and it has been organized thusly. And on the bottom part of the screen, it gives you a preview. And if we switch to list view, it's showing these columns. And this is what it would look at. So if I were to just select list view, save this, and now this is my view. These views are user specific, unless you are an admin type user, at which case, if I go back into select fields to display, when you hit save, you'll have a drop down option that says save for all users. And if I do that, it will save that view for all the users and overwrite anything else that the users may have done for themselves. So just be careful of hitting that button. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. You should have to be a system admin, and you can kind of set that for all the users. Otherwise, and even after they do that, the users can still customize their own view should they want to, which is by design. All right, so list view, tile view. If you want to add more columns, and we'll add them to a list view, for instance. Let's say we want to shrink the name. So if I hover over name, you notice I get like the target kind of crossbar thing. And if I move to the right or the left, I can take this and shrink it. So I'm going to shrink name a little bit. I'll just put it right there. You'll also notice if I hover over it, there's a little plus sign, meaning I can add a column to the left or the right of the existing column that's highlighted. So if I wanted to add one before type, I could hit this plus sign right here on the left side and say, oh, you know, if I'm looking at the account, I want to see, let's say, the category. And so it added category to the left of type. If I want to get rid of that, because that's not the field I want, I can just hit the X. If I want to add one to the right of type, again, I just hit the plus sign while I'm hovering over type on the right side of that. And I could add, let's say, industry. And I can add industry to the right side of that. Again, I can shrink type. I'll leave industry where it is. Phone, maybe we shrink. Contact, maybe we shrink. And I can save that. And so now I have a beautiful list view of my records for me, showing the type, the industry, phone, and primary contact. So we'll jump back in. And that was our list view. Tile view works similarly. So if I switch back over to tile view, it remembers what we have. Let's say I want to shrink name, and because that's pretty big, I'll just shrink it over here. And you'll notice it reflects that change, and I'll make it look somewhat consistent there. Otherwise, it can look pretty funny. So we have type, but let's say, you know, type's going to be short, but I want to add a column to the right of it. Same thing. I can just hit my plus sign and I will look up industry just simply by typing that in. And there's my industry as well as my type. I still have country. We can shrink that. And I could add a field to after country if I wanted to, or move this one over, or we'll add to the left, and let's just pick state. And we'll kind of keep it consistent here. And that's all good. If I wanted to add another column, I could totally do that. I'm just going to hit the plus sign right here. I'm sorry, not column, another row. And let's just select, we'll pick annual revenue. And then I can start adding additional columns if I want to, number of employees. Oh, that one's, yeah. So again, if I want to keep it consistent, we can do that. And now if I save that, I have a even bigger tile view, but maybe this view works better for you because it shows you more information. Let's jump right in. We'll do select fields to display again. And you'll notice right here in primary contact, you can always hit your edit button, which is the pencil, and give it a different name. So if you wanted, account name instead of just name, we could save that, even though this is a bad one because it's hiding that caption, but I'll unhide it for fun and save it. And now you see what that means. Account name is kind of prefixed. So let's go back and hide that because that's pretty ugly. But we'll keep that one. All right. So that is our views. If you have any questions, again, put them in that chat window. We'll keep moving along because, man, we're 10 minutes in already. All right. While here on the views, I did want to mention, and this is where things get kind of fun, that you can put related information in here. So not just stuff from the account, but you could also pull in stuff from, let's say, the contact or any related activities. So let's just see an example of that. So I'm going to change our view here. And instead of annual revenue and number of employees, I'll get rid of that. And underneath contact, I'm going to put in the contact's email address. So I'm going to, again, add a row here. And this time, instead of just picking a field on the account, so we're looking at the account, and these are all the columns that are related to the account, I want to pull in the primary contact's email address. So I'm going to hit the plus sign next to account because primary contact is related to the account. I'm going to look up primary contact because that's the name of the field. And now, just by knowing that primary contact is a contact type record, I'm going to see the fields for the contact. So I can just kind of scroll through here. And if you notice, I'm looking at first name, job title, full name, home phone, last name, all that stuff. But I want the email address. So I will select that. And you'll notice that it's going to give me a title of primary contact, which is the related record I was looking at, and then the field. So primary contact dot email. So I can just get rid of that and say, and rename it what I want. And I can save that, and we will make it the same width here. All right. And so I can save that record, and you'll see what that looks like. So I have the primary contact, and now I have the primary contact email address. So not only can you pull information, the main thing is going to be an account because we're looking at accounts, but you can pull related information into here as well. Not only that, but if I change my view again, I could add another one such as, and if you notice, there's a lot of things related to accounts just by scrolling down. So let me just jump right in, and I'm going to type up activity, and I want the activities by the account column, so account activities, and I want to see my, let's go kind of fun here, and we'll just say quantity, which is basically account. So I'm going to say these are open activities. And I want to further filter the activity record, because I'm looking at activities, by the status of the activity. And I want it where it is in progress or not started. So what I'm saying here is I'm going to say, hey, how many activities, and it's just showing the quantity, the count, are open for this account. And I'll go ahead and save that. And let's just make it the same here. And you can save that. So for this case, I have no open activities, but for this record, you can see that there are 2. So not only can you do that, you can show like last activity date, next activity date, things like that. Easy to get a good view, a good snapshot of everything. So that is that. That's all the views. And again, if you need to, you can always hit actions, export to Excel, and it's going to export whatever listing you're looking at right in there. Okay, so filters. Now that we've messed with our views a lot, filters. There are 2 kinds. There's kind of the quick filters, which Creatio calls these filters right up here. So I can just say add filter, and I want to look for ones where the name, is, I don't know, I'll just type in Sol. And you'll notice that it says filter where the name contains SOL, because I typed in SOL. If I want to change that, I can simply click on that filter and change that again, or I can just apply it. I can hit the little X to make the filter go away, but that is all well and good. So that's an example of quick filters. That also shows up a lot on the activities. In this case, there are built-in quick filters for the date range. So I can look at 1 day, a whole week, a specific range. So current week, next week, month, or I can just say, hey, I want to look at, the 17th through the whatever. You can also oftentimes filter things by an employee. So, I can just pick me. I can get rid of me. I can add additional ones just by hitting add employee, and I can pick who's somebody, I don't remember, an employee, and add additional people. And you'll notice there are 2 employees now, so I can get rid of one or both. So that is an example of quick filter. So Creatio has done a pretty good job of filtering those out. Same thing for like orders. You get the date range, who owns it, and that kind of fun stuff. So we can add additional filters and save these filters as folders. So simply hitting the filters folders, and we would say show folders. And now we have over here on the left a listing of folders. So let's say we wanted to see all the orders in progress. So there's a status for an order. There's a number 3 is in progress. So we could simply say, hey, I want to make a folder of that so I don't have to search for it every time. I'm just going to hit new folder, and I'm going to call this in progress. And once I do that, it's going to take me to the advanced filter mode, where I get to build all my conditions. And there's a lot of power in here, but we'll keep it simple right now and say, hey, I want to show just the orders, and I want the, looking up here, you can see the status column, and I want status. I'll select that. and I want one where the status is equal to in progress. So I can see what that will look like if I hit the apply button. And it looks like I have, what, 7 orders here? And I can save that as my folder once I'm good and happy. And now I have a listing of orders that are in progress. Easy peasy. If you have an extensive folder list, like lots of them in here, and you can have as many as you want, you can hit your favorites, and that will add it up here into favorites. So you can, the ones that you use most often, you can just jump right in here. By default, the folders can have security if you have security turned on for that area. And you can hit your gear icon as you have selected a particular folder and say set up access rights. And there are 3: read, edit, delete. If you just want people to be able to see the folder, you would give them a read access, and you just say, hey, I want to make a new read access right and give that to a particular role or user. And I'll just say what the finance role. So now the finance role can read this folder, and I save that. So someone with that role could log in and they would have access to that folder. If you need to change anything, delete it, you can copy that folder and give it a new name and add some new filters, and you can move it within folders because you can make folders within folders. You can change the access rights, change the filter, all that fun stuff. So advanced mode, like I said, can get pretty fun. So now we have all the orders that are in progress. So just a quick listing. We have Apex, Gateway, Alpha. I'm just going off the accounts. So let's go back to the account screen and show all the accounts that have an order that's in progress. And we'll kind of get a chance to do that because, you know, part of the fun is showing related records. So I'm going to go back to accounts. I'm going to get rid of this quick filter here. I'm going to show my folders. And I don't see anything in here to begin with. So let's make a new folder. And I'm going to say with order in progress. So again, I'm looking at accounts that have an order that is in progress. So hit OK. So I'm going to add a condition. By default, because we're looking at the account section, it's going to show me accounts fields, but I'm going to simply hit my expand button by account, and we are looking for orders by the column account. That's just showing you how the order is related. So I'm looking for orders for this account, and I'm going to look for the well, we're going to have to pick quantity first, and I'll show you what that looks like. So we're just looking where an order exists for that account. I'm going to hit select. So it says order, and it says where the count is greater than whatever, but we're going to change this count and say where it exists. So all that is saying is, okay, I'm looking for an order, or I'm looking at the accounts where there's an order, meaning that's what the exists mean. And you'll notice this, and in this little blue bar is kind of underneath or indented from that order field, meaning that it's going to show order related fields. And so this will allow me to select my, notice right here, I'm looking at order, and I can select my order status field just like we did before. And I'm going to say where the status equals, you notice this is just like we did, equals in progress. And if we want to read all this, it's showing me accounts where an order related to my account exists and where that order status is in progress. That's how that's kind of read. And I can again hit apply. That will show me those records. And I can save that as my folder. And so if I look, it was, PlanetSoft, Alpha, Apex, Factorial, Action, Gateway, whatever. And if I go look at my orders, Apex, Gateway, Factorial, Action, PlanetSoft. So same ones, right? So that's awesome. System's working like it should. All right. Last thing here. I know we only have like 5 minutes left. Let's show a quick summary. So we can do that on our view. So if we just hit view, set up summaries, we can say, hey, I just simply want to display the number of records. Okay, that's cool. So I will save that. And so now it just says, hey, there's a quantity of 6. That's awesome. So that works great for the account view of, how many do I have? If I pick a different folder, here's all my customers. It recalculates the quantity. I have 51 that are marked as customer, just as an example. You can further go into something that like orders, and orders have a total. So let's set up that summary there. So oh, that was bad. Sorry, set up summaries. And I want to display the number of records, but I'm going to make a new summary. So I'm going to hit my button here, and I'm going to summary on total. So this shows not text fields or anything, because you can't really summarize a text field. So it's showing date fields and like numeric fields. So in this case, a total. And what I want to do, if I want the amount, the average, the max, the min, I'll just go with the amount. And what I want to look like visually to display the total amount. So I'll save that. So not only do I have a quantity, 7 orders, but it sums those orders up right here and places it here and says my total amount is $50,000. So that is summaries. Again, that's just view setup summaries. And then sorting, we can jump in. You can see right now it's sorted by date with a little down arrow. So that's descending. So most recent first. If you wanted to sort something else, you can simply click on that header. In this case, it's sorting the order numerically or ascending order. If you click it again, descending, ascending, descending. If you wanted to sort it by the total, descending, that's fine. Now you need to have your highest total. If you want to see your oldest one up top, that's fine. You can do that. You can also, this is the super easy way, you can also go to view, sort by, and then select any field that is shown in the grid and sort it by that. All right, we are almost out of time. Thank you everyone for paying attention. The last thing I was going to cover, so we did views, advanced views, summaries, exporting to Excel, all that fun stuff. The last thing was the global search. And again, we can always add more if we need to. But where it says, what can I do for you? You can search for everything that is searchable globally. So let's just type in like Apex, and it's going to think for a minute and come back with lots of records. So you'll notice here, let's just look at this contact. It highlights, hopefully you can see that this Apex is bold. This Apex, it found it in the email address. It found it in the website link. Same thing for down here, corporate.apex. It found it in Apex Solutions right here for the name of this. This is an opportunity. So it gives you a record, in this case for contacts. If they have a picture, it will show their image. This is an order, and you can see all your icons down here on the left. So whatever you have set up to search, it will find it. In this case, I can say, hey, these are my accounts with Apex. It not only searches the name, related records, but it also searches address. Someone's on Apex Street. This parent account is Apex Solutions. So it's a pretty robust search. I can look up contacts, orders, So these are my orders for Apex Solutions, and easily just jump right in there to the order, to the customer, to the owner. Same thing for opportunities, everything in there. So it will search a fair amount. And if there's fields in there that are not set up to be globally searched, normally that can be changed kind of on the back end. Just let us know if you want to search for something. But like if you want to search for a phone number, I don't know if I have a good phone number. Let's see if I do 1428. Let's just do that. 1428. Okay. So if you're searching for numbers, it can search all kinds of things, but like product numbers, phone numbers, like order totals, all kinds of fun stuff. So in this case, you'll notice it did search and found a lead with that beginning of the same number, as well as my account. So that's kind of fun with the global search. There's more information there because you can actually use it to like create something. Like I could type create account, or let's see, add something, and it will do the same thing. So it's kind of smart. So fun there. All right, I know we're at our limit, slightly past. Thank you for hanging out.
There's a
everybody.
question.
Oh, we do have a question. Is there a way to add a general chronological filter to the global search results? Not easily. So filtering and changing the way these results show up is kind of interesting. So if I was looking at, I'll look at Apex again, and I'm assuming, let's say something like activities or orders, you wanted to see that by date. You'll notice that it doesn't show the order date. That's kind of just the way Creatio has defined, what fields show here. It is configurable. It's not like super easy. I kind of got to get in the back end and do that. I'm hoping they make that easier in the future, but there's probably a way to do it, but it's not as super simple and configurable as the vast majority of the system yet. But that's a good question. I can see why that would be helpful. So that's cool. We could maybe ask that to the community. I wonder if they'd have a good answer for that one. But thanks for asking that question. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Again, thanks for joining. Hopefully this was helpful. Send Betsy or I any feedback. And then look forward to next time. Have a great day, everybody.